What's going on, everybody? Hit that like, give us a comment, hit that subscribe button. Otani and Soto going into extra time, 22-22. Here we go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left, beat left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Good evening, everybody. We are back, Evan and I, for another edition of the Phlite Zone. We had a little absence last week. 4th of July was a little rough down here in Atlantic City, working as a server. You know, the show must go on. So here we are. We're back. We're back, and we're better than ever. We may be better, but the landscape of the Philadelphia sports, it's questionable. The Phillies are giving us a little slice of hope, and at the end of the day, they're probably going to just rip our hearts out, just like every other team. But I would like to believe that that's not the case. A lot of sports happened this weekend. A lot of major sporting events. We'll talk about. I know the ticker doesn't show it at the bottom, but we will discuss the Euro 2020 final that occurred in 2021 because of the little thing called coronavirus. We'll go over that. Pride of Italy. Here we go. I know you were a big England fan, so fuck you, Evan. Harry Kane sucks, and everybody else on that bum-ass team sucks.
McGregor's leg.
Yep, we'll get into Conor McGregor. We will get into Conor McGregor. Probably a good chunk of this show. We will get into Conor tonight. Yeah. He's probably one of my favorite athletes ever. He got me into the sport of UFC, MMA. I know everything I know about it because of him today. I feel like Conor fans are kind of like Dallas Cowboy fans, and I feel it, like in the relation of the two, in the relation of the sport. We all bask in his glory from back in the day where he just basically took the sport and put it on his back, and he ran with it. And we'll get into that. We'll get into McGregor Poirier 3. Yep. We'll talk about the Phillies' hot streak to end the half of the season, just so that they could get back to their status of straight mediocrity as they go into the playoff break 43-43, I believe. Mm-hmm. This is no radio, so I will get a confirmation on whether it was 43-43. What else? Danny Green's comments. That'll be the last thing that we will discuss today, because I know that'll bring us to a Ben Simmons conversation that I don't want to have. I'm sick of having it. I know 2 weeks ago we were talking, and I don't want to trade him for slop, but the more I think about it, the more I see that he is a soft-ass dude that doesn't care about anything except for himself and his money. He's nothing like Connor. He's nothing like Harper. He's nothing like Wentz. The Wentz relationship, or the Wentz situation and the Ben situation, it's just nullified. There is no conversation between the two, because at the end of the day, Carson always gave his 110%. I said it a day after Game 7. I said it a week after Game 7 on the podcast. He let us down. He let us down, and I tried giving him more excuses 2 weeks ago, and I don't know how many more excuses I could give him. I look at it this way. Everybody in that press conference, Tobias, Joe, everybody said they needed to do better. Seth said he needed to do better. Doc said he needed to do better. What did Ben say? Ben said we all needed to do better. Now, those guys were saying, them personally, they needed to step up and succeed, and they will show that next year. Tobias said it straight up, and I bash Tobias all the time. He was a big reason why we lost the series, because he didn't do his job, as I said throughout the summer. If everybody did their job, we advance. Guess what? Ben Simmons didn't do his job. He needed to step up. He didn't. So we'll get into that as we talk about Danny Green's comments as sports fans. There's one extra little conversation I want to get into before I give you your little speech, Evan. I want to talk about how sports takes over our lives. I watched Italy and England, and I see how devastated England was. The England fans were to lose. They reported it was just. It was devastating. It was their Super Bowl, and they lost it. They haven't won a major tournament in what, 60 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then you look at the other side in Italy, and they're cheering like they won the Super Bowl. And I'm not a huge soccer fan. I know you're a bigger soccer fan than I am.
Mhm.
But I just look at those people. I look at us, and I see sports really control our lives. It determines whether I'm miserable or whether I'm ecstatic at work every single day.
Yeah, man.
So we'll get into that at the end of the show.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. I think this must have been the most tough stretch to be a fan that like me. Like, besides if I was a Connor fan, I'd be a little bit more pissed. But obviously, like England losing the Euros, the Phillies, you never know with the Phillies. I mean, you really got all the sports that I mean, the Sixers just got eliminated. You know what I mean? It's constant pain. It's constant pain. It is. And when they lose, like it sucks.
It ruins our week. It ruins our day. It ruins a couple weeks of our lives. Like, I'm still distraught over the Sixers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Jimmy, like, if the Phillies turn inconsistent, which they will, I say, and become solidified non-playoff team, like, what the hell else is there to watch?
Eagles, baby. Week 1, baby. September 13th is week 1.
I mean, what if the Phillies go on like a bad losing streak? Like, what the hell are we gonna do for the night? Like, I mean, we got the Olympics coming up. Maybe we got the draft, but just being a fan right now is in Philly is just not it. It's not it.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's because of the Sixers. Honestly, I didn't really mind the Eagles and what they did last. I mean, it was a shit show, but I didn't really mind.
I do. I'll never forgive them for what they did. That was just inexcusable what they did.
All right.
The bad draft pick after bad draft pick, trying to make it up in fucking free agency. They are a disgrace. Do not give them an excuse.
All right, but I have to agree that the way the Sixers season ended was way hurt. It hurt a lot more than the Eagles. That's coming from my opinion. Maybe not you because you're Wentz's second husband, or I don't know. You know what I mean, Jimmy?
It's not about Carson, dude. It's about the fact that we had this kid, second year. We were a fucking shit show of an organization that hadn't won shit in 50 years. And this kid comes in his second year and leads us to one of our best seasons that we ever had in 13-2. And then he sacrifices his body, blows up his ACL, and the team ends up winning the Super Bowl. And then after that, everybody hated him for no fucking reason. And they wanted to keep Nick Foles, he's a great quarterback. I will cherish him for the rest of my life for giving me that Super Bowl, for giving us that Super Bowl. But I just don't understand the 45% of the people that just despised Carson just because he tore his ACL. Trying to score a touchdown for us. Like we always say that we love guys that always give it 100% their all. But Carson had to be that anomaly. You know, I don't want to talk about Carson.
I feel like it's just you have to have that. With that giving 110%, you need to show progression, and that persona that we had, the way we acted towards Ben Simmons and Carson Wentz, we knew more. It was more Ben Simmons. We knew that he had more in him, whereas Carson Wentz, he tried his best, but it wasn't pleasing the fans. It's just what that was, and then that goes and ties us into like the Danny Green comments. If we get into that, like Danny Green, I think it was about a week ago. No joke there, but yeah, he was saying that Philly fans were being really hard on Ben, which, as they should be. He's chilling with his wife in Wimbledon, not doing anything, not doing any Olympics, not trying to improve his game so far that I've seen. But you know, Jimmy, this sucks, and I don't know. I'd want to play here if I mean, maybe if I was a soft bitch like Markel Fultz or Simmons or JJ Ortega-Whiteside, like number 9.
He's just bad at sports.
Yeah, and you know, it's just how that we're gonna act at the end of the day. Like, we're all hardworking people. We're not unlike, I don't want to say people in California don't work hard, but we're a lot more passionate than the East Coast is a lot more passionate than the West Coast when it comes to sports, and that's not really a debate.
Yeah.
And people work they work in the city, and if you're not giving them all, they gave themselves up to watch you play shitty basketball. Like that pisses me off, especially if I spent big money during the playoffs and they pulled that shit. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, because you and I haven't even gotten to discuss like what we thought on air about Danny Green's comments.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been back and forth on him. Before we get to that, as always, our show is brought to you by Body Check Wellness. It's a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. Come in extracts, blends, gummies, topicals. Use the promo code A2D for 20% off the order at bodycheckwellness.com. Check them out. But yeah, we hadn't really been able to talk about what we thought about the Danny Green comments. I was back and forth. I hear the point he was trying to say. Because nowadays, very soft. We are a very soft generation.
Yeah.
And some people just can't handle the heat. You know?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, he can't handle it. And I was hinting at it basically his whole career. He is afraid to fail. Yeah. That means you're soft. If you're afraid to shoot, dude, we've all seen you shoot the basketball. When you shoot the basketball, when you're wide open, you have a great fucking shot, dude. Shoot it. But no, you're afraid. Not dunking on Trae Young. You're afraid. And then Danny Green comes out and says, oh, we got to cheer for them no matter what? Are you kidding me, dude? Even I'm not going to defend that. And I'm the biggest defender in the world.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of softness I see with this organization and with just sports in general is just mind-boggling. Reese saying about the good things a couple weeks ago when he single-handedly lost us a game. Like, dude, stop being soft. Why are you so soft? Why is every freaking young athlete in this town always end up having to be soft?
Yeah.
Did Carson Wentz have a little bit of a softness in him? I don't know. Maybe.
They just don't like that sort of pressure. They already have the pressure of whether they're going to be good or not. But if they have the fans on their ass, they're going to hate comments on the Instagrams. You know what I mean? Like, some people just can't handle that stuff. And I can agree. Like, some of our fans take it to a whole nother level where it doesn't have to be. But some of it is it's rightfully so. With, like, the Ben thing, like, you just need to give it all. That's all you got to do. And you got to show results. Not get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs when you should be winning the finals this year. Yeah. This was Suns are a beatable team. The Sixers, I feel like the Sixers are better than the Bucks.
We blew it. We blew it.
We did.
Ben Simmons blew it. Doc Rivers blew it.
Dude, everybody.
Morey blew it for not building up the fucking bench at the trade deadline like I said to do. Like, if you knew that Ben Simmons wasn't going to do this, like, if you knew, and I'm sure everybody in that fucking organization knew that Ben was going to do this. Like, people like me trying to convince guys like you, oh, yeah, he's going to show up. I promise you he's going to show up. He's going to pull something out of his sleeve come playoff time. We don't know anything. We're just trying to say it just to talk about it. Have a barroom conversation, a discussion. Yeah. But everybody in that organization knew that Ben Simmons was not going to shoot that fucking ball. So your answer was George Hill? That's on Daryl Morey. That's on Doc Rivers. That's on Doc Rivers for not wanting him out of here.
Yep. Dude, and it's another thing with it.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everyone was saying that was stupid if we were to do that, but you get a ring if that happens. You get a ring. And I say that with full confidence, but also just like Doc Rivers' inability to, like, they have to, at some point with Ben Simmons, they have to say, all right, we've been defending you for so long. If your offensive game is so limited to where you can't even dunk 2 feet in front of you're 6 foot, almost 7 fucking foot, and you don't dunk on Trae Young, who's a little weasel. Like,
in crunch time.
And
in a game 7 at home.
And you got guys fucking around, missing free throws, stupid
Turning the ball
bullshit
over.
fouls. I mean, people want to blame the refs for that, but like honestly, at the end of the day, you should have handled them. You should have handled them.
Well, yeah,
But
you blew a 26-point lead at one point. You blew an 18-point lead in a different game.
mhm.
You never went on a formidable run against a hard Atlanta Hawks defensive team. But like we could say all we want about if they're a good team or a bad team, we could all agree that their fucking defense is atrocious.
Yep.
And I don't know what, like, Wildwood did a number on me. Wildwood gave me the sunburn today. We just had to get it out of the way. I'm not hot because I'm screaming. I'm hot because the sun just killed me today. But that Atlanta Hawks team was just garbage, and I will stand by my word and say they will never go that far in the playoffs ever again as long as Trae Young is their number one option. I will stand by that for as long as I possibly can. You can call me a hater all you want. I'm not gonna give in to any of that bullshit. But if the league continues to get soft and soft and soft, then maybe Trae Young will be a top 10 NBA basketball player. But right now, I don't know about that. And by the way, I haven't watched a single game of NBA since that Game 7. I've been all locked in on the Euros.
Neither have I. Yep.
I've been locked in on the Euros. I've been locked in on the Phillies.
Yeah.
And that leads us to the poll question. We'll get more into the Sixers later today. 16 minutes into the show, and we went off on tangents. Poll question today. The Phillies will make the playoffs. Agree or disagree? And I know people chimed in early on in the show, and I don't think there was one person that agreed. Not one.
Yep. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hardest disagree. Just because what have they legit shown you? What have they done to improve their team? With the trade deadline coming up, we should be sellers. We really should be. With our depleted farm system, I mean, yeah, we just drafted a 6'7" pitcher, but the Iron Pigs are dog shit. They're dog shit. And our farm system.
What do you mean, man? We got Mickey Moniak. We got Scott Kingery.
Dude, 2016. Nah, I'm not. I was gonna
we
say
still got Adam
year.
Hazley. Is Hazley still around? We got Sir Anthony. Sir Anthony's down there, right?
He should be up.
Roman Quinn will be back in no time. Maybe he'll be back next year.
We
got all these young guys, all this young
Kingery.
talent. All this young talent we have. Do we still have Dylan Cousins?
We might. We fucking might.
Dude, this farm system is atrocious. But go ahead. You finish your point.
But yeah, I say disagree just because they haven't shown me enough to where I can say, oh yeah, they're better than the Mets, or oh yeah, they're better than a team in the NL Central who's you're gonna be fighting. I do not think that they'll win the division. I think they might slide out a wild card spot, but at this point, I feel like it'll be easier to win the division than it will be to get a wild card spot. You know what I mean? Just because like the NL East this year is like the NFC East. Everyone just kicks the shit out of each other, you know?
Yeah.
It's not really that separated as
well.
The Mets do like 3.5 games, 4 games ahead of us.
3.5, yeah. We're 3.5.
If you beat them, if you go into a series and take the series, that's just a couple steps forward. And like you just gotta beat the team you should beat, and it's the same with all the other teams, you know? Like I hope they do, but they really haven't shown me anything to where they've improved the team enough.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if they want to make the playoffs, they'll go trade for people. But who are you going to trade? Who the hell are you going to trade from your farm system?
I mean, that's the thing. You have really nothing. You have your shortstop. I'm drawing a blank to his name. Stott, I think his name is, or something like that.
Yeah,
he's probably he's your hottest prospect right now. But you got to look into the big leagues. You got to maybe look at moving on from Bohm. If you want to be buyers, you're probably gonna have to try maybe move on from Bohm, get another solid bat in the lineup, which I'm not down for. I would like to keep Bohm.
Yeah.
Maybe Hoskins. Hoskins would be a hot name to trade, and
Yeah.
I would trade Hoskins in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so would I he's been the Philadelphia. If I was to say the Phillies are a nutshell of a player, I'd say it's Rhys Hoskins. They'll have their hot streaks, and then when they're cold, them motherfuckers are freezing cold because they're
Yeah.
like Hoskins. I think he should be traded. His trade value is pretty high right now. I feel that he's been on a hot streak, so
Yeah.
we'll see about him. Also, like we have guys, Andrew McCutchen, who's balling out. I was talking shit about him in the beginning of the year, but he's showing out.
Mhm.
Gene Segura didn't he make the All-Star team?
Mm-hmm. The only thing with those guys are if you trade those guys, you're considered to be sellers. The only viable,
we should do.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I just look at the team. I look at it because you got until July 31st.
mm-hmm.
And we'll get into Troy's point in a sec. How we doing, Troy? We have no immediate help and no pitching depth, and that's really it. The bottom two of your starting pitchers, and honestly, Nola, you have two consistent. Like you have an ace in Zach Wheeler, Cy Young candidate, and you have Zach Eflin, who on a championship contender is a strong 4.
Mm-hmm.
Strong 4. Maybe a 3. Maybe can get away with a 3. You got Aaron Nola, who's just not there right now. I don't know. We need Aaron Nola to come up huge.
Yeah.
Whenever he comes back from the COVID, whenever that is, he needs to come huge. Do you trade Nola?
No. I just don't think you can't. You need a pitcher badly, and why give up a pitcher for I don't know. He's not bad. He just needs I feel like each game they play, I feel like the bats are so bad each time they play. But Noah also has those times.
He's given up 6, 7, 8 earned runs in a start.
Yeah,
it's unacceptable as our ace.
Yeah, it is unacceptable. But at the end of the day, like there's not really a market out there for pitchers to be sold to the Phillies or traded to the Phillies.
Well,
so I think
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Honestly, right now, who has had a better Phillies career, Aaron Nola or Rhys Hoskins?
I'd say Nola.
Well, yeah, I think it would be Nola, but Hoskins. You could make a viable argument that Hoskins and Nola have had very similar careers, and everybody's quick to jump the gun on trading Rhys Hoskins, which I'd be down for. I'd trade him like that. But you could get a lot more value from Nola as well, because we've seen it time after time again. When you need a win from him, when you're as mediocre as you are, come September, come August, he just shits the bed and he shrinks in big games when we need him. National televised games, he sucks.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, dude. I'm at a loss for words. Like he's just I don't know how to feel about him. Hoskins, because he'll be a fan favorite at one point, but then it gets old, you know? It gets old. And I think you need to move on from him. I think we were trying to breed him to be the next Ryan Howard, and I don't even know who he's became. It's just
I look at him the same way I look at Tobias. Like Tobias will do his job every once in a while. He'll go on a big hot streak.
Yep.
And then when you need him the most, when you need him in a big spot, he'll shit the bed.
Yep.
It's exactly what happened in the Atlanta Hawks series. Like, dude, you're making the same amount of money as Ben Simmons. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. When you see and know that your point guard isn't going to shoot the ball, and the only thing he's going to do is pass you the ball, and the only thing he's going to do is play defense,
yep.
Why don't you make your bunnies? Why don't you not go 8 for 24 in a fucking Game 7 against one of the worst defensive basketball teams I've ever seen in my entire life?
God.
Like, everybody's quick to jump the gun on Ben, and I know he sucked, but let's give a little bit more slack to Tobias as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
We'll go on Ben Simmons tangents throughout the show. I kind of got lost in the home run derby when we started the show. Ohtani and Soto went into a swing off, and then I think they went into like a double overtime, and Soto ended up prevailing. Now it's the start of the second round or whatever. But yeah, the sports landscape in Philadelphia right now is lackluster. Lackluster at best.
It is.
Let me answer the poll. I am going to agree to the poll only because I look at the Braves and I look that their pitching is almost as bad as ours, and I would say we're somewhat a lot better than them pitching wise. We could be bad at times, but they're bad. They give up a lot of runs. They lost Ozuna for the year. They just lost Acuna for the year because he just tore his ACL.
Yep.
If they don't come back quick from that, they could fall. They could fall, and they could fall fast. Washington went into a cold streak going into the All-Star break. Miami's down there now.
You just need to catch the Mets. That's all honestly what it is. And
it's you're one series away.
Like we are.
Yeah, and you're one series away from catching up to them.
Yep.
So I think you could be buyers and sellers at the same time. I think if you drop a contract like Didi,
you need to sell the right players. That's what it is. You need to sell smart. So I don't think we should go out selling players like Bohm or the younger guys. And with these older guys that are getting like some of these guys, like I don't think McCutchen's gonna have another higher like trade rate. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like he's so valuable right now that I don't think he'll be ever this valuable again.
Yeah.
So that just comes with age and all that. So I don't know. I don't know what they do. I feel like they'll do nothing, honestly.
They got it. They got to get a reliever.
To do.
They have to get a reliever. That should be their number one priority is get a reliever. And if they maybe want to make a splash and pick up a big name, exchange them for Bohm, and then your two best prospects or whatever, then maybe do that. I don't know what that name could possibly be.
I really don't know. I really wouldn't sacrifice any of the prospects for something right now because you really look at it, Jimmy. Like, are these dudes better than like the Dodgers? Or are they better than the Padres?
I mean, we just took 2 or 3 from the Padres. We just took 2 or 3 from Boston. We just took 3 or 4 from the Cubs.
Do you think they have a chance to win the championship?
No, but it would be good. It would be nice to see Zach Wheeler get some playoff experience. It would be nice to see Aaron Nola get some playoff experience. It would be nice to see Bryce Harper in the playoffs finally. We signed him to get us to the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs and
past the wild card, Jimmy, I feel like us trading right now would be like if say that we were the Magic from 2 years ago who had like the worst division of 8th seeds ever had, and then them trading for somebody like from a different team to try to make a playoff run. Like I just don't think that's smart. I feel like you need to wait till you have a team that's more complete if you want to do those trades. But really the Phillies right now, they don't have a chance to even get close to the championship. So I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. I'll start throwing out names that hypothetically you can maybe try and trade Bohm for. And you tell me if you do it or not. Bohm, you make a package deal. Bohm is the headliner. Trevor Story, you'd have him for 2 years, $27 million contract.
And how much is Bohm's only getting the
he's
rookie
not
salary?
getting, yeah, he's not getting paid yet.
What else would you give up?
Your 2 best prospects, or maybe a prospect or 2. And then they throw us a reliever.
It depends how good the reliever is, but Story would be nice for the Phillies. So I'd say yeah on that one.
So basically, it would be Bohm for Story. So all right. Let me look at another interesting name. Chris Bryant. Would you do Chris Bryant?
I don't know.
He would be a free agent.
Yeah, that's
No. Yeah, he will be a free agent next year.
and I mean, do we still do that stupid money thing? Like, I mean, if that was still a thing, I'd say yeah. But I don't know that he would re-sign with us. That's the only thing.
Well, that's the thing. After the trade, you'd have to sign him, right?
Yeah,
You'd have to give him an extension.
Yep.
You would have to because you can't give up Bohm for a rental when you're not sure if you're even going to make it.
Yep.
I'd say if you sign him, then yeah, you do that in a heartbeat. You figure out a package and you send them. I would do resend Bohm.
Yeah.
I would do resend Bohm. Have Bamboo Brad play first base.
Dude, he went off. Brad Miller. Did you see that they should have renamed it to Miller Park? There's already a Miller Park.
Oh, Wrigley Field? Yeah. Let's see. Do you mess around with I mean, there maybe a Joey Gallo from Texas Rangers. Like he's a power hitter.
Nah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of names out there and a bunch of bad teams that you could look at and you could say, hey, they would make a significant improvement to our lineup right now that we absolutely need. And there's just I don't know.
Yeah. And honestly, when you look at it, the only
Don.
Good for Bohm. I'd need a pitcher. I need a pitcher. Because I'm convinced that I think our offense really isn't the problem here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the defense. When you really look at it, the Phillies bullpen hasn't been that great during that Cubs series. And maybe it was just the fact that we scored like 15 extra runs and 20 some extra bases, and we absolutely like demolished them. But at the same time,
who's to say we can't keep that going though? Because that's the first time we've seen our legitimate starters together all healthy in a long time with Didi and Segura coming back. So when you have that lineup and they hit the ball the way they hit, who's to say that lineup doesn't stay like that? Because that was supposed to be our lineup from the beginning. And that's what they showed in the beginning in April and parts of May. So if you just build up that bullpen, Chris Bryant would be a lot of help. But if you get a solid reliever or two, probably two, maybe three. Because when you look at our bullpen, who do you really trust coming out of the bullpen? Coonrod?
I don't even know, Jimmy. I don't know. Because they're just I feel like they're getting lucky. I just feel like the bats are making our bullpen look less bad than it actually is. But it's an issue.
You're not lucky when you score that many runs in a week or two. Like maybe one game, maybe two, but they scored a shit ton of runs over the past.
They did. They have
3 series.
Yeah, but they're just like the pitchers are lucky that they're not close to games because they
that's what
we're saying. Shit for that.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Segura at this point is the only guy we can part with where we can get some value without having to sacrifice our young guys. And then Benny's Nation comes. How are we doing, Benny's Nation, tonight? If you believe in Stott, you don't move Bohm for Story. That's true. But is Stott another dream that we have because we have absolute dog shit in AAA and AA? So our best guy that's performing the best, our youngest guy that's performing the best, are we going to put him on a high pedestal and is he going to be the next Scott Kingery? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you drafted so bad under the Klentak regime.
Yep.
And you're wasting away JT's contract. You're wasting away Zach Wheeler's contract. You're wasting away Bryce's contract. if this little hot streak continues over the next 2 weeks and the trade deadline comes up, this might be your shot at momentum into making it into the playoffs, A, and then B, making a little run. I'm not saying you're going to win the World Series. I'm not saying you're going to make it into the World Series.
Mhm.
But given playoff experience to Reese, Bohm, if Bohm's still there, if you don't trade him, but given playoff experience to Reese, Wheeler, Nola, Harper again for the Phillies, it might be good.
Yeah. I mean, it would be good for the city of Philadelphia. I know that, but like, I wouldn't have the expectations up so high for us. Definitely not. I hope people don't overreact because of these couple wins. Because at the end of the day, we might lose these few next games when you're missing out on a few key players, which happens to be one of your aces. So
another problem with – I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
I was just going to say another problem with trading Segura is he's been your most consistent leadoff hitter over this hot stretch. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're just saying, screw it, I'm done with the season, let's move on to the next and just trade him and get as many prospects as you can, then yeah, sure. But if you're going to do that, I would seriously consider throwing Reese out there, get some more prospects. I would consider throwing Nola out there, get some more prospects. Because if Nola shrinks again, like he's been shrinking all season, well, is his ERA is above 4. I know that.
I think so. It might be just a tad or below 4.
That's pitiful.
Yeah.
That is a disgrace. And that's worth
ace.
Disgrace of an ace. But that you're under some real consideration from getting your ass traded for a shit ton of picks. The dude is 6-5 with a 4.53 ERA. 4.53. Vinny Velasquez is 5.35.
Smooth. That's real smooth.
Hector Nervis is 4.72. And our ace is a 4.53 ERA.
Wow.
It's time to consider trading his ass. Trade him to the fucking Yankees. Trade him to the Red Sox. Get some fucking prospects. I'm done with him. I'm done with Aaron Nola.
Yep. Damn, Jimmy. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Because you go and trade him, then who the hell else do you have?
Well, if you trade him, you could maybe go on a flyer, sign Cole Hamels.
Hasn't been leagued in 2 years.
All right, so you give him a couple AAA starts, and you'll see that he's better than Chase Anderson. He's better than Matt Moore. He'll probably be better than Vinny Velasquez. And then you go into a little playoff run in a putrid division, or playoff race in a putrid division with Zach as your ace, Eflin as your 2, Cole as your 3, Velasquez as your 4, and then make it a fucking bullpen game in the 5th starter. I don't care.
Yeah. I just don't think that would ever cross any of their minds there.
It should. It may not, but it should.
Possibly should, but I just think that wouldn't happen.
Mike Minor is another name that you could. He's a left-handed starting pitcher. That would be solid.
Yeah.
Craig Kimbrell is an interesting case because I think his ERA is below 0.5 right now.
Yeah.
Which he is just light years above, better than anybody that we have in the bullpen right now.
Yeah.
But that would cost a lot to get.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you'd only be playing him. You wouldn't be playing him every night if we didn't make the playoffs, you know. So I never really believed in spending big money or trading big on a reliever. But now that I've seen how much shit we've been playing with
over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years with
Yep.
And the sad part is, dude, relief pitchers in the MLB, 1 year they're hot, 1 year they're not.
Mm.
Unless they're on the fucking Philadelphia Phillies. Then
Yep.
every single year they're not.
You're not. I feel like the I don't want to disrespect the Eagles wide receiver core, but I think the Phillies bullpen is lower than the Eagles wide receiving core right now. I think it is.
Like, so we'll do 3 year for 3 year or whatever.
Yeah.
So since the Super Bowl run, the Eagles wide receiving core has been better than the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah. I still think so.
Dude, we've had mailmen as receivers.
Yep.
That'll be the next poll next week. That'll be a fun summertime poll.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia
I
Eagles wide
think
receiving
so.
core has been better than the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen since 2018. Agree or disagree? That's our poll next week.
Yeah. But yeah, man, as much as we want to hate on Eagles wide, I'm a lot more passionate when it comes to the Eagles rather than the Phillies. But we have had really bad wide receiving cores. But the pitching, dude, this is probably like the worst group of people I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. I couldn't even name like any of them I trust. Because at the beginning of the season, I thought Brogdon would be a little bit more of a viable, reliable option, but he proved to be inconsistent. Alvarado, he'll throw 103 miles per hour every time, but he doesn't ever really get the job done. Neris, you already know how I feel about him. He's
Hector nervous.
He's dog shit. Archie Bradley has been not that great this year. He likes to walk 3 batters and then try to get 3 outs right away. That never works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just at least with the wide receivers in Philly right now, there's some bright spots, but in ours there's no bright spots.
Yeah. Benny brings in a good point. He agrees wide receivers have been better simply because they don't cost you games. They may not win you games, but they don't cost you games. Well, Ben, it is a passing league. Our owner literally reamed out our head coach apparently for running the ball too much in a 2019 victory at Lambeau Field because we won the game 34-27, and apparently Doug was just ripped a new one because he ran the ball too much that game. So you're in a passing league, and your organization wants to be a pass-first football team. But they give you receivers like that. So in a way, they can cost you games. Because if you can't get open, then the offense is 3 and out, and you don't get going. So I might be on the disagree side, simply because you were in the driver's seat as a football, as an organization. You had literally just won the Super Bowl. It was supposed to be the new norm.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of drafting a guy like DK Metcalf, you drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Instead of drafting a guy like Justin Jefferson, you draft Jalen Reagor.
That's embarrassing.
That's almost as bad as David Hale coming out to the field every day. That's almost as bad as De Los Santos coming out to the field every day. That's almost as bad as Neftali Feliz coming out to the field. I'm a strong disagree to the poll. Strong disagree to the poll next week.
Wow.
Strong. We were contenders. Every single year since the Super Bowl. We were claimed contenders in the offseason.
Mm. Wow. What's up, Greg? Man.
Yo, Greg. Greg, we got a new poll for next week. Tell us what you think. The Philadelphia Eagles wide receiving core has been better than the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen since 2018, the year after we won the Super Bowl. Agree or disagree? Yeah. Ben, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the Nola trade because this is interesting. because if you trade Nola, you get a lot back. You improve your farm system. You could maybe involve another. Like you could be you could be playing poker come July 31st, July 30th. You could honestly throw out 3 significant trades that can improve your team for this year and improve him in the long run. Because Aaron Nola is dog shit. I'm done with Aaron Nola. Yankees would be desperate enough to trade him, and we all know that the Yankees always have a great farm system.
Yep.
Dodgers
I wouldn't be against it. I don't really care because I know we're not going to win this year. I know it for a fact that we're not going to win, and I really don't care if the Yankees win or not. So I'm not going to be like one of the. It's not like a really rival of ours. It's just just because we live so close together. But I would try to trade him for the Yankees because they've been known for their farm systems and how they breed guys. So why not?
Yeah.
But whoever gives you the best deal, I mean, that's really what you're looking for.
I mean, I think if we say Aaron Nola's on the trade block, 29 teams will be calling you. But best deal wins.
Yeah.
I got beat up by Wildwood today, Greg. I was at Maury's Pier. It was a fun time. It was the most fun I've had in weeks. After watching all these sports that just continue to give me pain. Like I was considering just not watching sports anymore last night because Saturday night was fight night. Our boy Sugar Sean won. That was fight of the night. I missed it because I was at work, but I watched it. I got every other fight on the fight card. It was a very, very mediocre fight card. Like,
you think so?
The way it all played out, like
I mean,
my boy.
It's always,
in my opinion, yeah,
it's something always happens with that. But I thought the Burns fight was.
I hate the way Burns fights, dude. It's
Really?
it's like watching Habib all over again. I don't know. I know it's MMA. I know it's a Swiss Army knife of just this and that. If you have all the tools, a win is a win no matter how it happens, unless you're Dustin Poirier and Conor breaks his leg on his own and you mark it as a win. That's just despicable and disgusting in my opinion. But that's besides the point. There's many ways you can win in the MMA. Burns went out, fought. He won fair and square. It's just an ugly style to watch. That's just my personal opinion. I love Wonder Boy, but yeah, exactly, Greg. It's just so boring. And then we go to the McGregor fight, and I know all the McGregor haters were they were shaking in their boots for a little bit. I know that he had you shaking for a little bit. He looked like old Conor. Came out with the kicks. Came out with the hook kicks, came out with the spinning kicks, left hands connecting from the southpaw position. And then Poirier took him down against the cage. And guess what? Conor almost locks in a fucking guillotine. If Conor locked in that guillotine, dude, locked in that fucking guillotine, everybody would be just shitting bricks. Shitting bricks.
I don't want to hear it. Nah, man. It was a disappointing fight. I feel like we've had a few of those over the last few months with UFC. Just like the Cowboy fight. Remember the Cowboy McGregor fight? It was just like one of those.
I don't think it was one of those, dude.
Because it wasn't one of those just because he actually knocked him out. But something that was so built up to something that only lasts 5 minutes. Like I was waiting all night for that fight, and I got 5 minutes of it.
That's why it's a whole fight card, you know. And look, that second round, if that second round would have happened and Conor didn't break his own fucking leg, that second round would have been insane. We all know that as UFC fans. That second round would have been insane.
It would have.
Because I was getting vibes of the Chad Mendes fight. I really was. I really was.
Yeah.
And guess what? Philly Sports Passion. And I love you. You're always contributing to the page. Carmen got Conor after talking crap about Dustin's wife. He's still talking. He was talking with half his fucking leg off the other part of his leg. Now he may never come back because that's a very fucking hard injury to come back from. But if he does, you best know Poirier's taking a fourth fight. You want to know why Poirier's going to take a fourth fight? Because Conor makes him money.
Yep.
Dustin Poirier would not be who he is today without Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor really wanted, and I know, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. I get it. But here's another if situation. If Conor McGregor truly cared about being an MMA, UFC fighter, he would have been an MMA, UFC fighter. He wouldn't have been a fucking showman. Because the showsmanship, that got into the way of Conor's career, which in turn, it made him millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And that dented his UFC legacy. If he truly wanted to, he'd be a top 3 fighter of all time. And I'm sticking by that.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I just think he's a genius when it comes to like promoting. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Poirier only made those comments that he like took offense to it just to get another fight. I feel like no one actually takes what is said seriously just because at the end of the day, none of these guys really hate each other. It's just for the promotion, for to go buy their next fight.
Yeah.
That's what they do for a living. So, I mean, yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with this, Benny, because he took Nate Diaz, who never dies, 5 rounds and beat him in a decision. And you guys can dispute that all you want. Conor won that fight. Conor won Diaz McGregor too. And I don't think it was close. It was judged the right way. It was judged fairly. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if he doesn't get you in the first 3 minutes. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has no ground game. He has no ground game. But when his face is being pounded in by Chad Mendes and he escapes it and then proceeds to knock out Chad Mendes 15 seconds later, it's just everybody forgets what Conor did for this sport.
Oh, he's definitely has been the face. And whenever anybody thinks of the UFC for the next 20 years, I'd say they'd just be talking about McGregor. I feel like that's kind of an obvious one. I mean, at some point, I remember when UFC wasn't as popular, and who would you say was the face like 10 years ago?
The face of the MMA?
The face of the MMA.
GSP was around in 2011. I think Silva was in the beginning stage of his Brock Lesnar.
I mean, they only knew Brock Lesnar from wrestling and like from WWE, but other than that, like nobody else pioneered the UFC like McGregor has.
Not even close. Not even close.
He's definitely one of the most fun athletes to watch, debatably, like ever. Like everybody is paying $70 to watch McGregor fight. All these people paying pay-per-view. No one really cares about the others, but just because McGregor's in it, like you should see the ratings. Just the other weeks when they don't even have it on. Every time they have McGregor on, they have it on pay-per-view. Every other UFC, that's on TV.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the UFC 254, 250, like those are all pay-per-view if Conor's not in it. But the fact that Conor brings in that much more pay-per-views, and it's not even now. I'm talking about what happened. How long ago was the fight, Benny? That's what I'm saying. It was what, 2015 that McGregor had his reign. It was 14, 15, 16, and then he went to fight Mayweather. If he never fought Mayweather, we'd be talking a very different story. If he just stuck with the MMA, we'd be talking a very different story. But you know what? He did. It didn't happen. It just like Carson Wentz didn't stay. Just like Ben Simmons doesn't shoot the fucking basketball. All of my heroes just disappoint me. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a shitty choice in heroes. I'm just saying. This is what I'm saying. Conor built up the sport.
He did. No debate. And what do you think that after this injury? Do you think that's all she wrote for Conor, or do you think Conor's going to try to?
Well,
I think he'll come back for another fight, definitely. But if he gets knocked out from the fight he comes back at,
look, he is one of the richest athletes in the world. He will have a smooth recovery. He will work his ass off to get back into shape. He'll take another Cowboy fight or whoever he wants to fight. He'll probably knock him out. It'll be just like Cowboy. There'll be hype all over it again.
Yep.
He'll maybe go out and fight maybe a Ferguson if Ferguson's still around. Maybe he knocks him out, and then he will get a shot at Dustin Poirier if he's champion, because Dana White knows he'll make a shit ton of money off of it.
Yeah. I think Oliveira and Poirier should definitely fight next. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It should have been
100%.
last. Poirier could have went and fought. I don't know if it would have been Oliveira and Poirier for the championship, but it was Chandler and Oliveira. But I think Poirier would have won that. But I think it's a lot. It's like two different championships. It's whoever gets to have their payday when they fight McGregor, or do you want to go against Chandler, who just started in the MMA not too long ago? You know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be. I think Poirier 100% deserves the chance to go against Oliveira, because he just beat Conor two times in a row. Which Conor doesn't really fight that often. Like, he just made his return now. He just came out of retirement after COVID. Dustin Poirier's fought in a lot of matches, dude.
Yep.
In a lot of matches.
I'm pretty sure he has the most knockouts in UFC history.
In lightweight history, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But back to my point. Dustin Poirier is a really, really good fighter. He's probably a top 5 fighter in the UFC right now. Yep. And we all know what happened in Poirier McGregor too. Poirier put him the fuck to sleep in the second round. But that first round, Conor won that first round. Yeah. 10-8.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It was close.
He was landing strike after strike after strike, and Poirier was eating them, which is good for him. But the fact that Conor can just come out of the wind like that and just put on a performance like that right off the gate, just so lackadaisical. And then you do it again with your leg kicks. You almost put the dude in a fucking guillotine. Like, you're scared. You're scaring a guy like Dustin Poirier, who at the end of the day beats you both times. But I'm just saying, that's an impressive feat coming from Conor McGregor.
It is.
That at any given moment, he could just put you to sleep with that left hand.
And that's why.
And Poirier admitted it in the post fight.
Yeah. Oh, he hit him with buzzed me a little bit. Yeah. But I do think that the reason why McGregor has so much hate is just because he's everywhere. And when you think about UFC, you think of him. It's like LeBron James. It's like I said,
LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys. That's what he is. And I feel dirty for cheering him like this, but I've been doing this since 2014 now. When he was first coming up into the UFC, 2013, 2014.
Yeah. I mean, at least he was bred into it. I mean, LeBron and I guess you could say the Cowboys were, but I just feel like it's a whole different game when you're talking about the MMA compared to other sports. But he is your LeBron of the MMA. And he's getting old soon, with just how LeBron is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They'll hate no matter what. So.
Yeah. Well, everybody's saying you got to remember Leon, but he's a welterweight, and we're doing lightweight, I believe, unless he's dropping to lightweight. I don't know. Because he just fought. He was the one that got rocked by Diaz in the 5th round.
Yeah.
And he was literally rocking around like a fucking bobblehead. I'm pretty sure that bout was in 170. And Oliveira is the unofficial 155 lightweight champ. But I don't know. I think Poirier deserves that shot before anybody. You could throw in Chandler. You can maybe throw in Gaethje. Gaethje last fought against Habib, and then Habib retired. So Gaethje's probably gonna have to get a fight or two before he gets that chance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just devastated. I'm devastated about that.
Yeah,
I hope
man.
he comes back, dude. I
I
really
hope
do.
so.
Well, yeah. As much as like MMA true MMA fans hate Conor, they gotta love the fact that
He's
it's
so
like
damn fun to watch. He's so damn fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. He's fun to like. You got to entertain it. You know, you got to entertain the pure show that he puts on, and that's what he is. He's a showman now. If he wanted to, he would have been a UFC fighter. That's it.
Yeah, man, I agree.
All right, let's move on to. Let's get into the deep part of Danny Green's comments, because that'll lead us into what sports means to us, and if we take it too far sometimes, et cetera, et cetera. So Danny Green says that, in short, we need to stop acting the way we act. We need to stop hating on all of our players. We need to stop treating them so badly because we hurt their feelings. We are the worst fans in the country. This is also coming from the dude that came from a team, from a fan base that was literally sending him death threats for missing a three-pointer in the NBA Finals. Did we ever send any of these guys death threats?
I probably, but I didn't see any. It was more obvious last year when he missed the wide open three for the championship, but was up Bryant. But yeah, man, I don't know what he was really thinking there. I mean, he also came from a team that was, I know we have a bad rep of this, but they were cheering when KD got hurt. Remember that? Remember all the footage of that happening? And he didn't, like, I guess just whenever anyone goes to Philly, they'll talk their shit about the fans. It's either you love or hate the fans.
Yeah.
And it's all up to you, because if you give your 100% and you're doing good, they'll love you. But if you're doing dog shit,
unless you're Carson
Wentz, unless you're Carson Wentz, I guess. But if you're underperforming, like Carson Wentz, like Ben Simmons, with little to substantial help around you, depending on who we're talking about. I mean, Carson Wentz didn't have any help, to be fair. But yeah, Jimmy.
So I think Danny was pretty specific. I think he has an issue with us as fans. He thinks we're overreacting, and he thinks that the boos that we give to them when they lose a game 7 against a far inferior team of their nature, when we lose to them at home in a game 7, he expects us not to boo. That's exactly what his little what's it called? Monologue was on the John Clark show, because he just kept talking. Like he sounded very fluent, he sounded very eloquent in the way he was saying it, and he sounded dead serious. He literally said, "We are the worst fan base. We are one of the worst fan bases in the country."
That's actually, I'd had so much praise for him too, but after those comments, I kind of lose respect. Because if you don't see what Philly's about, if you don't see what our fans are about before you even sign with the team or before you get traded, like, you have to know it's coming. You have to know what it's expected of you. And if you don't, then you're going to get shit on. So,
Philly sports passion. What Green said doesn't bother me as much as the majority of the fans. I had this take when it first happened, and then I read in between the lines into what he actually said, and he made it seem like we aren't supportive of these guys, of the guys that we went crazy for making a fucking free throw, but we went crazy for shooting a wide open shot in Ben Simmons. The fucking Wells Fargo Center went ballistic each time Ben shot those threes. Those 2 threes that he did.
And we shouldn't be like that. That's the thing. That
And
shouldn't be.
Danny Green says that we're the worst fans in the world. That we encouraged him and kept on encouraging him. And I know there were some sour apples. I trust me. I was fighting against them every single fucking day. Being one of the staunch Ben defenders that I am. That I still am, maybe I'm not. I'm still trying to find myself, I guess. But we were literally cheering for him at the Wells Fargo Center up until the very end of Game 7. And he wants to say that we're not supportive enough?
No.
That we got to cheer no matter what? So we're cheering. We're cheering at the fact that we lost a fucking Game 7 against the 5th seed when we're the 1 seed. And then he has the audacity to say that we should be more grateful for them being the 1 seed. Fuck you, Danny Green.
Yeah, fuck that. If you think it's a regular season game, that's loser mentality. If you just think that being the 1st seed is enough, I don't care what damn seed you get, 1 through 8. You should be wanting it. I mean, whatever happened with the Sixers happened, but it's nothing the fans should be. It's not the fans' fault. They're not out there playing.
Yeah.
They're just not pleased with what they saw. They saw a choke job.
Yeah. And I'm not one to say that, they're making millions upon millions of dollars. They deserve to be playing their tail off. No, I don't want to say that. You make your money, dude. It's fine. But the fact that I purchased a Tyrese Maxey jersey in game 5 of the Washington Wizards series. I purchased a TJ McConnell jersey. I go to the games. I buy the cups with the soda so that I could save the sodas so that I could bring the cups home. I purchased Bryce Harper jerseys. I purchased the fucking home run hat that's coming in soon.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to do it, but that money goes into their contracts. And multiply that by hundreds of thousands of fans. We're not allowed to get a little bit upset when they lose, when they blow a 26-point lead, when they blow an 18-point lead, when they lose Game 7 against a fucking shitty basketball team that'll never make it that far ever again as long as Trae Young's their number 1.
Yeah.
We just got to cheer. Oh, Ben, thank you for passing that ball to Matisse for letting him go to the line and missing 1 or 2. Thank you. There's 3 guys that should get an excuse in this entire organization. Blame the fucking Water Boys and the Towel Boys too. I don't care. There's 3 guys: Seth Curry, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. They gave it their all. They gave it 100%. Nobody else did.
Nope. And Doc Rivers he's a choker. He's a fucking choker. They will bring him back next season, but I'd rather have Sam Cassell just lead the team. Because when I watched some of the games, I saw Sam Cassell up more than Doc Rivers. I
definitely saw, and you don't know, dude, because there was a lot of good coaches on our fucking coaching staff.
Yep.
And we're not there. We're not in the locker room. But I just get a vibe from Sam Cassell that I love. And I don't get that vibe from Doc.
No.
You know what vibe I get from Doc?
What?
I get the vibe that the world is against me. Every single time the camera pans on Doc Rivers, it's always
Dude, he reminds me of if you got Melo on your team. It's okay.
He's
like the Melo.
He makes the same faces that Trae Young makes when he doesn't get a call. That's exactly what happens. He just always looks like he's in shock and disbelief. Dude, they're not giving us the calls. Make an adjustment and stop making adjustments to your face.
Yeah.
Make adjustments to the game.
That's embarrassing.
I hope to God so, Philly sports passion. Because that was just terrible. It was so bad.
Wow.
And it leads us to the point. Do we care too much? And if we do, how do we stop? We can't stop.
You can't
it's
stop.
like fucking crack cocaine. You try it once and you're just hooked. Not that I know. I'm just saying. The statistics say that if you try crack, you'll do it again. It's like watching a fucking Philadelphia Phillies game.
If you
do
watch
it once, you're just gonna keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Like, you can't stop. And we're just so passionate for these teams. And we just give these teams our all. We give these teams our all.
Yep.
And the batch of players that we've gotten over the past, I don't even know how long. 3 to 5 seasons, 10 seasons. But even then, what have we won in our sports city?
I don't even know.
We won a cup in 74. We won a cup in 75. We won a World Series in 80, a Finals in 83, a World Series in 08, and a Super Bowl in 2017. It's sad that I know all of that off the top of my head. What is that, 6, 7 wins? Yeah. Tom Brady has that in his fucking career.
Yep. I feel like if any fans I think the Boston fans have it the best. They really do. If you look at it, they've had the best. And I just like to see, like, I'd rather be that team who doesn't win as much championships and take that one than be a team like the Warriors. Like Warriors fan. Like, I wouldn't want to watch my team win every single goddamn year. You know what I mean? It's just not fun to watch. I know it would be great to watch the Sixers win 5 in a row, but like after all those wins, you're gonna go in a deep, deep shithole. Like the Cavs.
Yeah.
Like some of these teams out here.
Once the Spurs lose, what the
Jimmy,
am I drawing a blank right now?
Huh?
Popovich. Once the Spurs lose Popovich, they'll fall into that. We'll turn into the Kings. We'll turn into the Cavs. We'll turn into the fucking Magic. Like we have a strong shot, but you know what's holding us from that? It's us. It's our passion that we give, because the passion that we give encourages our front office. As much as we bash our front office, they'll always try to give us 100% in the fact that they'll try and give us players.
I agree.
The Phillies. They were god-awful from 2013 to 2017. 2018, you make a little run and then you collapse. And then they say, all right, we had 5 really bad years. It's time to go out, make a splash. They sign Harper. You want to know why they do that? Because we're that passionate. Right?
Yeah. No, you're right. Because I feel like Harper, any other team with our shittiness, I don't even know how to describe what the Phillies are, because they're just so shit, that if you want a team like the Twins or Cleveland, like they're on our level, like they're better right now, but they know that we can bring in more of a crowd than any of those teams would. And I think that's another reason why Harper agreed to sign, is just because he knows the fans, what the fans are all about and stuff, you know. And that's what he is. He's all about the hard work. He's all about all that shit. And he took it from Washington fans when he was there. When he was going through slumps, they let him know. But he likes that.
And let me piggyback off that point. Joel Embiid, top 3 basketball player in the world right now. He's with us because he knows that we're a fan base that wants to spew passion. You know that little cold streak that we had during the Al Horford season, where there was talks that he was going to go down to Miami with Jimmy Butler, and he was kind of Joe was kind of trolling us on social media. He gave us the Two-Face quote: "You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become one."
Yeah.
And we were all kind of like freaking out, but at the same time, we kind of felt like he was joking. Yeah. And then he puts on a fucking, as much as I bash it, he puts on a show in the bubble when it's 1 versus 5 against the Celtics. And then he comes out the very next year and has an MVP season.
Yep.
Like, he's Philadelphia sports. Like, what do you think Joel Embiid thought about Danny Green's comments? Because I don't think he would like that.
No. And here, I want to make up one point before we get onto it. Embiid also did have some, like, he's had his moment with fans.
Yeah.
He's had his moment with fans, just as Ben Simmons had this year and last year, the love me not, all that bullshit. That stupid ass bullshit. And then Like
They love
remember
me. They
Joel
love me
Embiid they were booing Joel and all that. Remember that? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's all love, you know. And Embiid understands that because he's not immature like Ben and Fultz were.
Sean,
So, Sean.
I don't know how you haven't seen it yet, but Danny Green says that, in short, we're the worst fan base in the country. That's something we need to work on. We need to stay with them no matter what. We need to cheer them no matter what. And we need to start looking ourselves in the mirror and do better. And if that's not a soft comment as I've ever seen, I don't know what is. Like, Ben Simmons is the COO of Mr. Softy right now. Danny Green is his right-hand man. Danny Green is the VP of operations.
That's funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, I was on the Wildwood Boardwalk and the Mr. Softy
Mr. Softy ice cream.
The theme song was playing, and my little brother and sister got some ice cream from Ben Simmons' company. So that was pretty cool.
I love this Ben Simmons slander.
I tried my best. I tried to stay on the other side. I was being genuine. I was being serious. Like, you don't trade him for a dumbass package. No package trades for him. But there's only so much we could take as fans.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you want in the offseason, dude. But when you read in between the lines, when you don't say anything that shows me you care in the post-game press conference of a Game 7, when you show me that you're going out to Wimbledon to watch tennis, of all things, with your girlfriend, as opposed to, doing other things with your time. Like, I'm not going to say be in the gym all fucking summer, but you know who is going to be in the gym all summer? Tyrese Maxey.
Yep.
Tyrese Maxey's going to do as much as he possibly can to become a better basketball player.
Yep.
Now, who's to say Ben doesn't do that after Wimbledon? Who knows? I'm not gonna just jump to conclusions. But most of this fucking fan base has seen enough, Ben. There's only a few people left like me that'll still not to. I won't waste my breath to try and protect you, to try and protect the slander against you. But you got to give me something, dude. You got to.
And another thing I want to bring up real quick with Danny Green. Danny Green went from winning 2 championships and was on a championship team, not the actual team, but the Spurs. He's comparing the Sixers right now to the Raptors when they pulled off the miracle, with the Spurs that he won all the years with, and the Lakers fans that he spent half a year with. And then they sent him death threats. Like, he hasn't really even been that much into the Sixers. Like, all the fans have been cheering for all those teams, so they would have nothing to boo for, because those teams were championship teams. Like, he's never probably actually gotten booed for like a regular season. You know what I mean?
He's never experienced a legitimate fan base, because 50% of the Lakers fan base are frauds. They'll come and go. You got the Toronto fan base, the Toronto fan base that watches hockey. That was just a blessing for them. And then you got San Antonio, who's only experienced good basketball with fucking Greg Popovich.
Yep.
So all they've ever known is good. And when it's we lose, that's a shame. There's always next year. When you're with us, Danny, we got your back.
Oh yeah.
Just give us your all.
Yep.
And the guy that we're booing doesn't give you his all. Doesn't give us his all. And Ben Simmons, he doesn't.
Nope.
I still don't want to trade him for a dumbass package, but you're not going to just come into our city a year into your fucking tenure, get $14 million because of us, the fans, keeping you guys relevant, selling out the Wells Fargo Center game after game after game after game.
Yep.
Buying jerseys left and right, buying the cups left and right, the soda cups. You're not going to come into our city after a year and say that we're the worst fan base in the country. You're not.
Yeah.
And then have people defend you about it.
That's ridiculous.
You know nothing about this city.
Yeah.
Cheer for Markelle Fultz for shooting a basketball because he forgot how to shoot, and we're still cheering for him. Cheering for Ben Simmons all the way up until Game 7 of this year when he makes a free throw. Like he fucking just won us the NBA Finals every time he made a free throw.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sorry for booing you off the court because you lost to a 5 seed as the 1 seed. And next time, we will appreciate that you gave us a 1 seed. We will.
Yeah. Because the 1 seed wins champions, right? 1 seed wins championships. He must think that. That was honestly such a idiotic quote that he. I really like. You were right the whole time, and with all that stuff about, with just how the fans act, and so you said that there's no, it's not even close. That sorry, I'm having an issue right now, but just I feel like we should just be how we always are, because I don't think we shouldn't have to change for any other damn player. I really hope it's not going to work with Devonta Smith this year. I hope he just stays in his own little thing and doesn't pull a Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
Like the Jalen Reagor situation is very, very, very much like the Markelle Fultz, even though Jalen Reagor's he can recover from it. It was just a little falling off. And the media has a lot to do with it. The fans are one thing, but the media has huge, huge impact on it.
Well, yeah, we're one of the most sought out, I guess, appreciated media groups in the country when it comes to sports. But that's besides the point. Guys like the guy to my right shoulder, I guess it would be. That's Jason Kelce. That's a picture of Jason Kelce at the parade after we won the Super Bowl. Has he ever once bitched about us booing?
No.
How many times have we booed the Eagles off the field at the end of the first half since we won the Super Bowl? Has any Eagle ever complained about that?
Almost every game.
And Jason Kelce is certainly not one of those people that'll come spew out comments the way Danny Green spewed them out. And Jason's been here for a decade now.
Yep. He just
so as smart as you might think you are, Danny Green, respectfully, I don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
You're just as good as dead to me. At the end of the day, all of us are Philly fans. We may bust each other's balls, whether it's keep Wentz, trade Wentz, whether it's keep Ben, trade Ben. At the end of the day, we're all Philadelphia fans.
And we all want the same thing.
We all want the same thing. We all want to just win. That's it.
Yep.
Jason Kelce wants to win. Danny Green cares more about not having his feelings hurt. Ben Simmons cares more about not having his feelings hurt.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe you could spin it off that, we can't take any criticism. The fuck we can't take criticism. Are you kidding me? We bust each other's balls all fucking day.
We do.
So don't spin it around that, the tides have turned, because they haven't. You just sound like an idiot. You sound like a hater idiot.
Yep. I agree.
Troy, I know. We'll get to this. I don't know who said it earlier on in the comments, but they drafted pitching. That's what they needed. They need pitchers. They need pitchers, and more pitchers. They basically need everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you really couldn't miss. If I were Dombrowski or whoever is in charge of the draft, I would have just gotten best available. Whether it was best available reliever, best available starting pitcher, best available third baseman, best available left fielder, best available center fielder. Whoever's best available, you take them. You got to trust the scouts. So
yep, you have to pull SIXERS. You literally have to pick 3 centers in a row until you find them.
Yeah, that's the thing, because centers. Never mind. We're not getting into that. Because centers win nowadays, right?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe not sure.
And now that I'm looking back at it, dude, you can't win with a center in the NBA. And case in point, Joel Embiid, our 7'3" monster, handling the ball in the fourth quarter because our point guard is a liability on the offensive side of the ball. Guess what that leads to? That leads to 8 turnovers.
Yep.
And I'm all Team Joe now. I'm done with Ben. I'm
Mhm.
done. Get him out of here. Trade
Wow.
Ben. Trade Nola. I'm starting to sound like you.
Oh God, trade wins.
All right, don't go that far.
Best available bat boy, yeah. Chase Petty could have been a Philly. That's all I'm saying. Local boy from mainland. Yep.
Yeah, Mainland High School is what, 15 minutes from us?
Yeah. That would have been pretty cool. But
Yes. Until the moment his ERA is a 4.53 and he's supposed to be our ace.
Then we blew him on the field.
So yeah, guys, it's been a hell of a show. We'll wrap off the next 15, 20 minutes just venting.
Mhm.
Just venting a little bit because we'll get into the poll for a little bit because that'll probably lead to a good vent because we'll talk about how mediocre our baseball team is. But we can't really bash them that much. They're on a you take 3 or 4 from Chicago, you take 2 or 3 from San Diego, you take 2 or 3 from Boston.
Yep.
And just like that, you're 3.5 games back in second place of the NL East.
Mhm.
And the Mets are the front runners who just they don't look like a good baseball team to me.
Mhm.
Like you look at their lineup, like if you look at it, do we have the best lineup in the NL East right now?
I think we do.
I think we do too.
But just the pitching, no.
But that's another thing. Our pitching's better than the Braves. I think Miami's just completely done now.
Our starting pitchers are fine, honestly. Like, I don't think we have the worst starting rotation. Definitely
I think I am afraid when 3 out of our 5 guys start the day. Guess who those 3 guys are?
Spencer Howard.
Well, whoever the 5th is. So yes, I guess Spencer Howard.
I mean, are you still feeling Eflin or?
I trust Zach Eflin and Zach Wheeler.
The Zacks. Okay, so yeah.
I don't trust Nola. Not one bit.
Wow.
And if you say he's on the block, you're getting a shit ton of offers. You take the best offer you get.
Mm.
I'm done with him. I'm done with him, dude.
That's a hot take, man. I don't know if a lot of Phillies fans that would agree to that, but that's an interesting one. Definitely. Wow.
Yeah, we do have the best available, or I'm sorry, best lineup. What am I stopping? I'm not like, what has Aaron Nola done in his career except lose us big games when we need him the most to try and make it into the playoffs? Trade him while you can.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know that I would.
Put Ranger Suarez in the fucking starting rotation for all I care. I'm done with him, dude. Because I just feel it. It's going. What's the last series? I think the last series we have is against Miami, right?
I think so.
Let me double check that because I'm going to give you the exact scenario on what's going to happen. About Simmons. Beat that guy about what? I know I'm all over the place with this guy. All right, here's my final answer on my take on Ben Simmons. I think he's soft as hell. I think he single-handedly cost us the series. Now that I'm really thinking, I'm just going to go completely back. I apologize, Evan. He's a soft bitch. He's a soft bitch. You're 6'10", 250 pounds. I don't even want you to shoot the ball because that all gets nullified if we win that game 7 and you can move on to the Bucks and try and beat them. Because it goes series to series. All you needed to do was dunk the ball on that soft-ass Trae Young. And we win that game 7.
Yep.
You are 6'10", 250 pounds. We've seen you shoot the basketball before. And you're so goddamn afraid of failing that you just fail us anyway because you don't even try.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I think about Ben Simmons, right?
And
this is what I think we should do with him. You don't trade him for a shitty package. You do not trade him for a shitty package. But if you get a slightly average to above average package, you trade him. Done deal.
I'd agree. I mean, I don't think we should absolutely sell him for dirt and rocks like Minnesota wants. They said they wanted Ben for Malik Beasley and I think Ricky Rubio or some bullshit like that. Like, no, get the fuck out of here with that. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Nope.
It's
Come on, Benny. Benny. Dude,
He's trolling.
you got to be trolling.
Thank
Benny,
you.
you've seen me and how passionate I am about this dude. About how much faith I had in this dude. And I look at the fucking NBA Finals right now, and I'm saying, if Ben Simmons he's a 50% basketball player. He plays basketball 50%.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you 65 because I see what he does in transition. I see what he does when it comes to passing. But in the half-court set, when the defense shrinks, even when it's a putrid Atlanta Hawks defense, he just disappears, dude. Like, I've defended this guy. I've been one of his biggest defenders.
Dude, I know you were. I do feel
Thank you,
bad.
Benny. Thank you. He's just.
I do feel bad, Jimmy. I hope you know that.
Shut up,
I do
Evan. I
feel
know
bad.
you don't.
I feel bad, Jimmy, because you were so high on him, and now you're just like you're shitting on him.
I realized what you guys have been saying all along.
Damn.
It hurts.
Yeah. Wow.
Easy money. I agree with you. The media, which everybody at ATD keeps it real. I feel like the mainstream media, the dial, they some of them have agendas, some of them don't. There's a few of them that have an exception. But instead of Danny Green, instead of calling out their coach that had historical, everybody at the station was calling out Doc. Like, Doc was a part of the problem. Doc was a huge part of the problem. Morey was a huge part of the problem. Everybody in that fucking organization that had power was a part of that problem. You want to know why they were part of that problem? Because they let Ben Simmons do what Ben Simmons wants to do.
Yeah.
And it cost them in the end.
Yeah, man.
The Phillies. Get back to the Phillies. Are they making the playoffs or not? We had the best lineup in the NL East, but our defense is the worst, and it's not even close. That's going to cost us games. It already has cost us games. And then the pitching. The pitching's here and there. You don't know what Noel is going to do any given start. You don't know what Velasquez is going to do any given start. You have no idea who your fifth starter is. Like, we would like to believe that Eflin will give us 6 solid innings. We would love to believe that Wheeler gives us 8 solid innings. So the pitching's here and there. It's very inconsistent. Pick up a few arms come trade deadline. Who knows? Make it into the playoffs. Who knows?
Yep.
I agree to the poll. We're making it to the playoffs. We need it. We need it for the city.
We do need it, but I don't think we'll get it.
Like, what's our record going to be come playoff time? Or, I'm sorry, come NFL time. What's the Eagles' record going to be when it's game 162? 1-1? 1-2?
Yeah.
0-3?
Maybe. I don't know.
We're going to need it.
I don't know. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Ben. I know.
86. I remember we were saying 95. Remember that? Good old days before they pulled the good old Phillies.
I'm going to pull up the schedule real quick. I'll give us our... All right. All right, so our next series coming out of the All-Star break starts Friday. We have a double header against the Marlins. So those are going to be 7-inning games at Philly. Worst that could happen, we split those games. 1-1.
I do not like us against the Marlins ever. I feel like the Marlins they always beat us.
All right, so let's say we're 2-2 after this Marlins series because it's a 4-game series.
Mhm.
All right, so we're 2-2, so we're still 500.
Yep.
Then you got 2 games against the Yankees at New York. Split those games, so we're still 500.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you have a 4-game series against the Braves. This is going to be the series. July 22nd, July 23rd, July 24th, July 25th.
Mm-hmm.
You go 3-1 in that series, you become buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's 6 days before the deadline.
Yep.
And then, it gets better. You have a 4-game series against the Braves and then a 4-game series against the Nationals all at home.
Wow.
You got to go 6-2.
Yeah.
You got to go 6-2. And you know what? Fuck it. They go 6-2. So now they're 4 games above 500.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All right.
Yeah. I don't know though, man. I don't. The Nationals. I feel like I'm more nervous about the Nationals than I am with the Braves right now, especially since Acuna went out. I just think Matt Scherzer and those guys, Juan Soto and all that, we always have a shitty record when it comes to after All-Star game home performances against NL East teams.
But you know what, Evan?
It's really shitty.
You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling a red hot August. I'm feeling vibes of 2007 to 2011 where we were unbeatable in August. You know what? How many games do we have in August? We have 28 games in August. I say we go 24-4 in August. Mark it. 24-4. We run away with the division. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Putting my fist down for that. Yeah. I agree to the poll.
I still disagree, Jay. I'm sorry. I still disagree, man. I don't know. I don't think there's any red hot Augusts here, but I wish we had that. I wish I would kill for that what do you call it though? For a relieving staff. I would kill for the 2008 relieving staff. We just have no. It's bad.
Troy comes in and just shits on my parade. Not going to lie. I hope they lose the next few weeks so they do what's right to fix the franchise. Dude, if they go really hot over the next few weeks and we end up going 10 games above 500, I would love that. I would love it. This is the vibe I want. This is the vibe I want. I'm down for this vibe.
No, I'm not. They're not.
Because what are the Eagles going to do?
It's going to be the Blues. They're playing the Blues in October.
What the fuck are the Eagles going to do in October? I'm telling you,
maybe they'll tie 2 games.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'd rather lose. I'd rather lose. Anyway, I'm marking it now. We start off like shaky coming out of the All-Star break, and then that 8-game stretch against the Braves and Nationals in Philly, we're going to go on a hot streak, and that's going to be the start of the turnaround of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Red October, baby. I'm down. And before we get to the end of the show, we'll talk about one other thing. Would we consider trading JT?
Yeah.
I say no.
Really?
The main thing is, if we trade JT, this whole season is just a waste because that was our number one priority going into it, right?
Yeah.
Sign JT. Well, guess what? We signed him now, so we're stuck with him. Everybody was saying sign him, so it's like ordering a fucking cheesesteak and it comes out bad. What are you gonna do? Just be one of those people and send it back to the kitchen? Like, I hate those people. Just suck it up. Oh, you don't like it? That's fine. Next time you go out, you'll learn not to order that. But suck it up and eat it.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Suck it up and eat it.
No comment. No comment to this. No comment.
Oh my gosh. That's fucking hilarious.
All right, boys, girls. It's been a fun time. Thank you to everybody contributing. Philly Sports Passion as always. Benny as always. PB 609 at the last second coming in with the Red October vibes.
Yeah.
Troy, thank you for joining in tonight. I think you're a newcomer to our show.
Thank you, boys.
Matthew Walsh coming in late. Phillies are the very definition of mediocrity. I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more.
That's what this whole podcast was. It's mediocrity.
Matt, come join us next week at 9:30. We'll be back next week at 9:30 on Monday. I know last week we weren't here. We apologize for that greatly, but got called into work, so there's nothing we could really do, you know?
Yep.
But no excuses. The show must go on. We'll be here
Yes,
next
sir.
Monday. We'll talk about the poll. Our poll next week is going to be an interesting one if you're coming in late. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiving core has been better than the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen since 2018. Agree or disagree? And I'm going to do a strong agree to that poll. No, a strong disagree to that poll. Yeah.
Yep.
The wide receivers sucked.
Mm-hmm. I say agree, but we'll talk about it more next week.
Yes, I do. I do know that. I also got money that the Colts are winning the Super Bowl this year. Not cheering for it. I'm cheering for the Eagles tonight, as always, but I got money on the Colts. A lot of money, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys and girls, it was fun. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next week. Peace out.